On Mother's Day in 1996, Teresa watched her then 17-year-old son, Taiwan, get arrested. His charge? Aggravated criminal sexual assault with a weapon. He is currently a registered sex offender for life after being accused of raping and stabbing a woman. But Teresa believes her son is innocent, and today he's here to clear his name.
I just want to say that I'm not a criminal sexual predator. I'm not this monster that the courts made me out to be or say I am. I grew up on the South Side, Steve, in a Chicago project housing where I was a part of a gang from 13 to the age 17. Everything took place May 12th on Mother's Day, 1996. I was sitting at home with my family, waiting to eat dinner, and we heard a loud pounding on the door. My father jumped up to answer the door, and upon opening the door, two cops forced their way in without an arrest warrant or a search warrant, and they said that they had questioning for me down at the police station and that my family did not have to come along because I'd be home shortly, which my mother implicated that never happened. I came home 4 years later. Upon me going to the police station, I was handcuffed to the bench, and they kept telling me that you're going to jail for the rest of your life. You need to tell us something. Do you know anything? Drop us some names or whatever. But I kept saying, I don't know what you guys talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. After hours.
Did you have any idea, like, what you were being accused
of?
of?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
Like I said, I wasn't the perfect guy. I sold drugs for fast cash at an early age. I had my little gang fights or whatnot, but I never done anything.
Do you mind me asking?
Yes,
Only
sir.
because when you were a gang member, I was a Chicago police officer.
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious, what gang were you in?
I was a gangster disciple at the time.
Okay.
And this particular crime took place in a rival gang neighborhood, which was a totally opposite gang from what I was claiming. Yes, they were 4120. And if you know, like I know, that we do not get along whatsoever, for me to be able to go to their building, I've never been to their building, less known inside their building, to commit a crime and walk back out with my life.
Because it would be a death sentence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They kept asking me, did you do this crime? Did you do this crime? I wasn't sure what they was talking about until they brought pictures. They showed me a picture of a woman from the neck down with multiple stab wounds in her breast. I'm not a raper man. I have never stabbed this woman. I never seen this woman a day in my life, but supposedly I was picked out in the lineup. They said that I was identified in the lineup, which...
And at this time, you're 19 years old?
I was 17, sir.
Oh, so you're 17 at this time?
I was 17, yes.
Are you still in the gang at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
I sat in the county jail 4 years.
You stayed at 26 in Cal?
I stayed in 26 California for 4 years. 3 years.
Which I just have to tell the audience, I was there numerous times appearing in court or bringing prisoners down there. You're better off in prison than you are at 26 in Cal, right?
Yes, and I sat there for 4 years.
That's pretty brutal in
sir.
that condition.
Yes, sir.
So you're in there for 4 years?
Yes, sir. And the lawyer who knew everything about the case, who was really trying to help me free my name, he knew all the flaws, he saw everything that was going on. They had him to drop my case.
So they had no physical evidence against you?
No, they had, the descriptions didn't fit me. They had no DNA, anything. And they basically just, like I said, they railroaded me, and they kept me in there, and they kept questioning me for hours after hours after hours, until I was forced to, like, basically sign a statement against myself, which caused me to go to the county jail. And upon doing that, I just wanted to take a jury trial and try to clear my name. But it never happened because the guy who was representing me at the time, they had him to drop the case, and I was presented a new public defender who absolutely didn't do anything for me, right? Because he was...
So you're in there for 4 years, which is an eternity.
Yes, sir.
You're saying you didn't commit this crime.
Yes, sir.
You admit that you're a gang member, you did bad things, but you weren't a rapist.
No, sir. Right. No, sir. I never did anything to harm anybody.
Tell me, what's it like to be in there for 4 years?
I was fighting for my life, actually. I also got stabbed in the chest, you know, due to my crime. You know, I had different guys approaching me like, oh, you ain't here for rape, you ain't here for rape. You know, we do the sex offenders and this, that, and the other. So numerous of fights. You know, I stayed in the hole, and I was just fighting for my life, and it was rough.
Your father becomes ill, right?
Yes, my father became sick.
And they come to you with the plea deal.
Yes, sir.
And what was the plea deal?
Actually, they came at me with like 4 different plea deals. The first plea deal was 20 years. I turned that down. They came at me with 18 years. I turned that down. They came at me with 12 years. I turned that down. Then they came at me with 9 years. I turned that down as well because I supposed to be picking a jury trial. My mother, my family, they all came together with some money to give me a trial suit, and for a year I kept going to court, supposedly picking a jury trial, but each time that I came to court, the state's attorney kept saying, Your Honor, we're not ready, we need more time. So they'd give me another 3 to 4 months continuous. So I'm just sitting in the jail for 3 to 4 months waiting for another trial date, supposed to be picking my trial each time. And this lasted for almost a year, which caused me to be in the county jail.
What eventually got you sprung from jail?
When I met the new public defender, he pretty much came to me and he said, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna talk to the courts and see if they're gonna give you a plea deal. They came at me with 7 years the first time. And he like, 7 years? He said, no, we can't give you the 7 years because you've been here 4 years. Day for day, good time, we'll have to let you go from the county jail, which was impossible. You know, they wanted to get the felony on my back. So he went back out there and he came out with the 8 years. He said, okay, you'll still do the same 2 months in prison if you do 8 years. If you take the 8-year sentence, we'll give you the good time day for day, and you'll be home in 2 months. So
at this point, it looks like a pretty good deal.
yeah, it seems like
you just want to get out.
He told me, like, he shrugged my shoulders. He shrugged his shoulders at me and said, hey, it's up to you. If you don't take the 2 months, if you don't take the 8 years,
you
then
could lose.
I'll be in there, right? I'll be in there basically pretty much forever, you know. And that was just, and he showed me. That's when I gave up, you know. Outside of the fact it was already a vulnerable state because of the situation with my father being in and out of diabetic comas. He was on his deathbed,
right.
And this
guy. You want to see your father?
Yes, and this guy telling me basically that he's not going to represent me, that he's basically not going to dig 3 years back and pick up all the evidence and stuff to help me out.
So you took the deal?
So I took the 8 years.
And you got out in 2 months?
Yes, I got out in 2 months.
What was that like when getting out? Were you able to see your dad before he passed?
Yes, I did. My father actually passed away not too long after I was released from prison. I was on house arrest and on parole for 3 years. I did my whole parole time on house arrest.
So you had to be in your house for 3 years?
Yes, but I was granted movement.
Right.
But the 3 years didn't last because the police did a sweep in Chicago housing projects, and I got caught up in the sweep. I wasn't supposed to be paroled to CHA property at the time. So by me being on CHA property, it led me back to the penitentiary.
Violation of parole?
Yes, sir.
How long did you go back then?
For an additional 2 months.
Oh, okay, so
yes,
not
the
too
first
bad.
time I got out, I was supposed to register for only 10 years. When I went back the second time and came home, they told me that I had to register for
sex offender
for the rest of my natural life. I wasn't even aware.
Which there's a lot of things that you won't be able to do, right?
Yes, yes.
Like you can't be around children.
I mean, my crime, you know, it was, I wasn't like, far as a pedophile, far as with kids or nothing like that. You know, it was like levels.
But sex offenders, a whole slew of things that restricts you.
Yes.
So why are you here today?
I'm here to basically just to tell the world and clear my name. You know, I'm tired. I done been through it. I mean, I've been homeless. I can't find find housing. I can't find a relationship. You know, everybody. It's like it's hard. It's hard to come to someone and be like, hey, I'm Taiwan. I'm a registered sex offender. You know, it's like, it's hard. It's hard. I've been neglected. I mean, been rejected. I can't keep jobs. You name it. You name it, Steve.
Let's meet your mother, Teresa.
I know my son didn't do this. He didn't do it. Oh, God, I love you. I know you didn't do it. I know you did. He's not perfect. He's been through so much. Sure. But I know he wouldn't rape anyone. He has 3 sisters.
I've been protecting them my whole life, like fighting for my little sister, you know, in school. You know, I've been protecting her. Men couldn't even look at my mom with me being with her. I would.
Yes.
Yay high, sticking my chest out to other grown men like, that's my mama, you know? I always stood up for my family. I always been against violence towards women. And it's not my cup of tea. You know, I was the only son and the oldest, and I protected my family.
Do you want to tell your story on the Steve Wilkos Show? Visit the link in the description to get my help. Taiwan, 21 years ago, accused of a heinous crime, lost 4 years of his freedom and 20 years of reputation.
Yes, sir.
You came here to clear your name.
Yes,
you
sir.
took a lie detector test. And we asked you, did you have any sexual physical contact with the victim? You answered no. Did you stab the victim? You answered no. The results for your lie detector test is, the results came back the same to each question, and they came back that you, Taiwan, told the truth.
I've been waiting for so long for this. I've been waiting for so long. I've been waiting for so long. I've been waiting for so long for this. For so long.
To have people looking at you like you are a criminal. What a tremendous
Look at me on the internet, you know, it's
right.
certain places I'm scared to go for my life, especially in Chicago, with violence and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I can mess around and lose my life for something I ain't even do. Y'all don't even know the story behind it.
And unfortunately, sometimes somebody picks the wrong person out of a lineup. Yeah. Policemen are pressured to make arrests, close cases, and unfortunately, in your case, tragedy.
Yes, sir.
A tragedy.
Yes, sir.
For just a mistake like this ruins somebody's life. I hope, for your sake, that a lot of people watch the show. I hope that maybe you can even use this to maybe continue a fight against being registered as a sex offender. Maybe you can get that off. Maybe you get exonerated someday with somebody who will take up your cause.
Yes, sir.
Because they know that you didn't do this.
They told me.
And I certainly hope that the next 20 years are a lot easier than the last 20.
I just want my life back, that's all.